What's up, guys? We finally made the crossing from Fort Lauderdale to Bimini, a run we've done plenty of times, but this one hit way different because it officially marks the start of our forever journey. After spending the summer up in the Chesapeake, we were more than ready to get back to that clear, tropical water again. The Chesapeake was an awesome experience, but I'll be honest, it's not something I'm exactly dying to jump into again. This crossing, though, absolute perfection. The ocean was like a mirror. One of those dream days you almost don't believe is real. And to top it off, we even managed to put some mahi in the fridge. We rolled into Bimini safe and sound late in the afternoon, and honestly, we were shocked at how empty everything was. Most of the marinas only had one or two boats in them. It is late October and technically the slow season, but I've never seen it this quiet before. We dropped anchor, cooked some dinner, and called it an early night so we'd be ready to handle check-in first thing the next morning. The next morning, I woke up and headed ashore to get everything taken care of, and this time, things were definitely different. The costs had gone up a lot, and there were also several new fees added on. By the time it was all said and done, the total came out to $800 for a 90-day stay, and it included a 1-month fishing license that we now have to renew for $100 per month. We knew going into this trip that this would likely be our last time in Bimini for years to come. So instead of rushing around, we really used this time as a way to soak it all in, kind of a remembrance of all the amazing memories we've made on this island over the years. Pat's and Ebby's has always been one of our absolute favorites, and honestly, Shani, Ebby, and Pat feel more like family than friends at this point. And of course, we had to stop by Joe's Conch Shack. It's always a little bittersweet being there since the passing of the legend Joe himself. It's just not the same without him. But it's still so good to see the family keeping everything going strong. Another must stop for us every single time is Nate's Bread, Ebby's brother. If you know, you know. We left Bimini and made our way across the Mackey Shoal toward one of our favorite areas in the Bahamas, the beautiful Berrie Islands. This island chain is made up of around 30 main islands and over 100 smaller islands, and it's such a unique area because it sits right up against the tongue of the ocean. You've got deep water on one side, and then the backside is shallow and protected, which makes it an incredible place to explore and anchor. Our 75-mile crossing was calm and uneventful, other than a surprise visit from a few lobsters that apparently wanted to hitch a ride with us. As we pulled in, we already knew we were about to get smacked by a front with winds pushing into the 30-knot range, so we tucked ourselves into a gorgeous beach area just off Whale Cay. It ended up being the perfect spot to relax, get settled, and wait out the wind. We saw a great weather window and decided to take it because it didn't look like we were going to get another one for at least a couple of weeks for our 54-mile crossing. We trolled the entire way and had one solid knockdown. It peeled some line off like it was going to be a good one, but then it came unbuttoned and swam away. Other than that, it was another absolutely perfect crossing day with winds under 10 knots and completely flat seas. We arrived into Spanish Town midday, jumped in for a swim, and then took the dinghy over to Wreckers for a cocktail. Now that is the right way to end a travel day. Spanish Wells is such a beautiful little island, and it really has its own unique flair. The people here are descendants of English colonists from Bermuda and later British loyalists. And when you first hear their dialect, it honestly reminded me of southern Louisiana more than anything else. And I've got to say, the people could not have been nicer. We ended up grabbing a slip in a small basin over on Russell Island because it was super protected, and it was only $40 per night, no power, but free water. For the Bahamas, that's a pretty solid deal, and the little area we were in was incredibly calm and sheltered. Once we got settled, we broke out the bikes and spent our time riding all over the island. We found a place called Butta's, which was run by a local family, and we absolutely loved it. Another must stop was Kathy's Bakery across from the food fair. So good. And speaking of it, the Food Fair grocery store is probably one of the best stocked and nicest grocery stores we've seen anywhere in the Bahamas. As we biked around, we also realized pretty quickly that Spanish Wells has a bit of a Christmas addiction. A lot of homes had multiple decorations up, but then there was one place that was completely above and beyond. I cannot even imagine what that power bill looks like, because electricity on the island is definitely not cheap. We left Spanish Wells and headed toward Harbour Island, and we were able to get a full day of fishing in on the way. We only ended up catching one blackfin, but I was really hoping for a wahoo. You can see we followed the edge the entire way down to the southern entrance. I had read about the turtles in the southern part of this bay, so we decided to anchor down at that end. And the second the anchor was set, it was time to go visit them, which I already knew Belinda was going to love. And let me tell you, what an experience. As soon as you pull in, they come swimming right up to you. They're completely used to people because they get fed here regularly. There are easily 10 plus charter boats bringing people to the spot every single day. After spending some time with the turtles, we moved up closer to town and anchored so we could take the go-to dinghy in and explore the island. When we docked, there was a group of locals playing dominoes, so I decided to jump in and give it a try, and I actually won a couple games. What a blast. The next day we rented a golf cart and explored the island. Harbour Island is small and quaint, but it's absolutely beautiful, especially those famous pink sand beaches. We also stopped by Gusty's and met the man himself. He truly had some great stories. His wife passed just over a year ago, and I don't think he'll be running the place much longer. It's just a lot for him these days. We left Harbour Island and headed back through the Devil's Backbone, past Spanish Wells again, and then ran down through Current Cut so we could make our way over to one of the coolest spots in the Bahamas, the Glass Window Bridge. This bridge cuts right across an area of rocks that collapsed during hurricanes, and it connects the north and south parts of Eleuthera. It's also one of those places that seems to get damaged or completely destroyed pretty often during storms. The day we were there, both the ocean side and the sound side were surprisingly calm, which is rare, and it made the whole place even more incredible to see. Even with flat water, it's still an absolutely amazing sight. After that, we headed just about a mile south to another must-see stop called Queen's Bath. It's a natural rock formation where the ocean fills in and creates what looks like a giant bubbly bathtub, and it ended up being such a cool stop. If you're coming by boat, the easiest way to access it is to hop on no foreign land and follow the instructions. It's a super easy walk. You come in from the backside, cross the road, and then head up the path. Today was a picture-perfect day for the 46-mile crossing from Rock Sound over to the Exumas. It was flat calm yet again. One of those runs where the ocean barely moves and everything just feels easy. The crossing itself was pretty uneventful except for one barracuda bite. We got him to the boat and sent him back on his way. We stayed that night at Highburn Cay, and then with a blow coming, we decided to move back up to Allen's Cay to tuck in somewhere a little more protected. We had also heard there were plenty of conch in the area, and that rumor turned out to be true. We did pretty well, although I will say one of those conch definitely got even with me. All right, guys, we're going to have to cut this video a little short because we're having some computer issues at the moment. But don't worry, we'll be picking back up soon with photos and video from Shroud Cay, the famous washing machine, our time in Georgetown, and the run from Georgetown over to Turks and Caicos. Plus, we've got some incredible fish catches coming up, marlin, tuna, wahoo, and mahi, so you're not going to want to miss what's ahead. As always, remember, at the end of the day, you can always make more money, but you can't buy more time. So get out there and live life to the fullest. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps us out. We'll see you soon.